Let Terraria's meaty in-game guides be an indication of its laborious learning curve. First, there's a how to play section in the menu that'll take you upwards of 10 minutes of reading to familiarize yourself with the basics. Then, there's a hands-on tutorial, which holds your hand as you learn to craft and destroy the world. Finally, as you begin the game itself, there's an accommodating NPC called Jeff, whose dialogue is brimming with tips. If you missed out on the Minecraft craze, or any number of the games similar to Terraria, you're going to need the help, because there are very few rules and exceedingly vast depth, literally and figuratively, in this retro-feeling hybrid of practical survival and explorative adventure. Like its PC partner, the Xbox Live version of this massive hit does what it sets out to do, and though novices will find themselves running for painkillers in the early stages of figuring out how Terraria operates, this port is more than sufficiently operational once it gets going. Forget about boundaries. Those who despise the invisible wall have nothing to fear in Terraria, except perhaps falling off the edge of the world. Like an RPG, you begin with nothing and build your character and world. Unlike an RPG, you're not choosing who you want to be, but the kind of world you want to live in. Nearly the entire landscape is yours to mold and melt, and if you want to make it past the game's first day, then gathering resources and building a shelter, no matter how humble at first, is required. The gameplay process of this Minecraft clone begins something like this. At night, overwhelming monsters attack, and only a rigid set of walls can keep the zombies at bay. At day, you chop trees to collect wood, and back to night, within the confines of your safe house, you can bury deep beneath the earth's soil and mine for ore. Resources can be combined to craft furnaces, workplaces, and anvils, which in turn can be used to craft sturdier weapons and armors. Over the course of a few hours, you'll find yourself wandering further and further from your small shack, and developing hardier strongholds as checkpoints over the two-dimensional plane. As the game develops, you'll eventually dig deep enough to battle fearsome enemies and populate your homes with merchants and arms dealers. But this development happens slowly, and by the time you find yourself at this point, you'll be baffled as to how you got there, which makes you feel all the more proud at mastering Terraria's mechanics, despite its wealth of text assistance. Independent games have a retrospective tendency in substance and style. Most seek to re-explore the simplicity of older generational titles, and that applies to Terraria in its art, which emulates the 16-bit graphical template. Character sprites will remind you of classics like Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, their basic animations, chopping wood, running and jumping, building walls, demanding your imagination to proactively participate in its unlimited environment. The beauty here is the balance Terraria maintains between being a solo and multiplayer experience. Both are highly enjoyable and both have their merit. Forging a world, enjoying the comforts of a roaring fire while the forces of evil convene outside your door, and killing hours amassing iron and gold can be intimate personal experiences, but they can also be shared online amidst friends. Alone or with a band of brothers, micromanagement has never been more fun. And there is a lot to micromanage. Building settlements takes time, as does molding the landscape to your design. So also does collecting all the resources required to do so. But thank the maker, there's an ingredient option in the game that allows you to see what's needed to craft each item. Yes, the console port is a couple years old now, but Terraria is still an incredibly enjoyable and comforting indie game, and one of the best in its category. For console owners who had the chance to lose themselves in this lauded PC hit, we say to you, if you haven't played the game yet, by all means, lose yourself. Some of the greatest video games of all time have stemmed from a minimalist philosophy, from Pong to Shadow of the Colossus, and Terraria boasts all those same virtues. It gives you all the tools to break down every single wall, except the invisible kind.